Well, today I am here with my beautiful sister, and I'm so thankful because she just went through a mitral valve, now correct me if I'm right or wrong here, repair or replacement surgery.
That's correct. And that's what they called it because when I was going in, they were going to try to repair it. But when he tried to repair it, he did try to repair it, but it was still having a small leakage, so he decided to replace it. So I did have the replacement, and it was a biological valve, which my mom years ago had an aortic valve replaced with the cow valve, and because she chose cow valve, I chose cow valve. So I told him I wanted the cow valve, and that's what I ended up with.
So we're going to talk today about this surgery. So I'm going to ask you some few questions
Okay.
and just tell us all about this because you have come through this so wonderfully. You are now into like your 6th week.
It'll be 6 weeks tomorrow, I believe.
Okay, so can you describe the before process, the during process, and the after process?
So before, I was 50 years old when I found out I even had this mitral valve regurgitation, is what my nurse practitioner called it. And then they sent me yearly for EKGs, echocardiograms every like 3 years I'd have, and they were just keeping an eye on it. But so then when I'm 57, my birthday was in June, and June is when I had my next checkup for the year with my cardiologist. And she heard, I guess my EKG came back abnormal a little bit, so they sent me for the echocardiogram again. Then they sent me for a heart catheterization, and then it showed the leakage worse. So then they had to do something called a TTE or a TEE, I can't remember exact, but they go down through your throat. You do have to be put asleep for that, and they look how severe and how bad the valves are leaking then. So, and it's like multiple tests you have to go through. So I went through a lot of that, and it did show the leakage. She called me on the phone, my nurse practitioner, cardiologist, and said that she had already sent my case over to Dr. Nelson, and he said that she said that he would take my case. So that kind of gave me relief because I thought I was going to have to go out of town because I live in a small town.
Awesome. So what takes place when you're having a mitral valve surgery? What happens?
Well, they give you actually like a little animated video they send you through your email that you watch, and it just shows them cutting your flesh and then opening up, cutting your sternum, opening that up and going in, and they actually, I believe, the way it shows, they take your heart completely out of you. They reroute it so that your heart and your blood is flowing through you using machines. You're asleep during all this completely, and while they're working on your heart. So he told me it'd be about a 4-hour surgery. I think it ended up, because of trying to repair it, being about 5 hours total. But your body goes through a lot, because I actually, during while I was in ICU, had a lot of vision problems, like my 3rd and 4th day, that were scary and kind of worried me. But by the time I went home, they let up. I wasn't seeing the images I was seeing. I was seeing bubbles and different things, and I thought I might have had like a mini stroke or something. It was kind of scary. But it's a lot. Your body goes through a lot, and you don't really realize that until it's all said and done and you're recuperating. So now you can really feel it, and you can feel yourself healing. But I do feel like my scarring is healed up very well. It goes down to about here, and then I have 5 holes that healed where there were drains in me. And I woke up, and the first thing I remember is seeing my sister and my brother-in-law like through a curtain. This is my picture in my mind. They're like standing back either at the foot of my bed. I feel like there was a curtain near them, and I heard them tell me, I love you, and I just remember doing the I love you sign.
We were amazed.
And that's all I remember. I don't even remember the breathing tube still being down in me at that point. And you said it was still in there.
Glowing.
And I have no recollection of, I didn't get choked over anything, or like a lot of people will say, that was the worst, pulling that up, and I don't have any recollection of that even happening. And everything went well. And then after, once you get home, you need care. I know there's people out there, you may not have somebody to care for you. At least your church, your neighbors, somebody will come and check on you and help you if you really need it. You can find help somewhere. Don't let it go on your own, because I had to go up and down steps to get to my bathroom. And I did buy a potty chair thinking, oh, if I can't do it, I'll have a way to not have to go up and down steps. I never had to use that potty chair at all. I was used to going up and down steps all my life to do it, so I think that helped me. But to keep balance, I would hold on to my husband or my daughter. One of them were always close by if I needed help. So you do need to ask people for help, and being able to get you things you need, because you need to rest. Because when you're in the hospital, I don't remember getting much rest at all. They were constantly doing something. Chest x-ray every morning at 3 a.m, they'd wake you up for blood work. They'd come in to get you ready to prep for the doctor to see you. Your body just couldn't rest, because I think a lot of the medicines you were on that you weren't used to, pain medicines, it was very hard to get any sleep while you're in the hospital itself. When you get home, you need to have like some kind of a chair, almost like a recliner type chair, helped me. And I could just push the button and it would help me. It didn't lift me up. It wasn't a lift chair. It was just a regular recliner that you could push the button to close, open, and put the foot down. But that really helped me, because then I was able to get up, and you can't push or use any of your muscles. You have to use your lower body strength and your leg strength and get yourself up that way. So practice that. I did practice that. I would do this a lot. I would get up and down and practice getting up and down to be able to do that.
This is how you're doing good right now. You should be sitting.
I would do 30 squats like this, and I would get up and sit just to be kind of prepare myself for being able to do that before I had surgery. So I did do a little bit of prep.
It's amazing.
But now, I do feel like I just need to get up and move more, but I also am very tired, and everybody says don't push it, so I'm not going to push it. I start rehab on January the 6th, and that's to come. So they start you out slow, and then they move quicker, but I'm hoping that'll bring back my strength and energy. I really feel I have spasms and things still healing. I can feel it just doesn't feel right inside yet. I can tell I'm not completely healed. And then I'm hoping just a little bit at a time that it'll help me get strength and be back and be able to go to work. I'm hoping. Dr. Nelson told me I'd be off for 3 months, so I'm hoping I'll be able to go back by February the 18th. That would be, and I'm hoping to go back about the second week in February to work.
Now I'm going to take it back a little bit. And what made you have to? How did you find out you even had mitral valve problems? How did that happen?
It was just my nurse practitioner. When I was on my 50-year checkup, she listened to my heart and she heard it. And she said, do you know that you have mitral valve regurgitation? She took a long time listening, and I was kind of like, I've never had anybody take this long. Like, they didn't just do it once or twice. She like almost breathe deeper, you know how they like take a deep breath in, breathe out. And it seemed like it took longer, so I felt like something must not be right. But then she said, well, you need to get this checked, because she could really hear it. And so that's when they send you for a heart catheterization, and they check it. And they did find I had mild to moderate leakage then when I was 50. And then they would do a yearly checkup. And I'd have to have an EKG every year. And if it turned out okay, I was okay for the year. If the EKG showed something off, I ended up having an echocardiogram then every 3 years. I'd have that, which I guess shows a little further. And then this year when I went in June for my checkup, it ended up telling me that I was leaking severely, and that and there's nothing you can do to keep it from leaking. Like, you can't change your diet or do anything. That's just your valve is malformed. Nelson took his fist like this and showed me, this is how your valve should close. Your valve looks like this. And so it wasn't properly closing the way it should have. It was like opened, and it was causing the blood not to flow through the correct way and close back up. So it needed to be replaced.
And there's different kind of valves. What made you choose the type of valve?
He said you can do a mechanical valve, but then you have to take a blood thinner probably for the rest of your life if you choose. And the mechanical valve is supposed to be a forever valve, I guess. It's. I mean, I've read where people have had to have the mechanical valve replaced, but that's rare. And it's supposed to last longer, but the blood thinners kind of worried me, and I didn't really want to have to be on a medicine all the time like that if I didn't have to. So I went, my mom had her aortic valve replaced and had the biological cow valve. So I said, I would like to have the biological cow valve. And so that's what I got as far as I know. I asked that at the doctor the last time. I said, I did get the cow valve, right? And they said yes. Because I've heard of people getting a porcupine valve, a pig valve, or a cow valve.
Wow.
So, or you can get a cadaver valve, but I guess that's only if they're available. I don't know how that works.
Well, what would you like to tell everybody that might have to have a mitral valve surgery or knows somebody who has to have a mitral valve surgery? What would be your advice for them? What would you tell them?
If you don't have faith in God and you don't believe in Jesus, I would say you need to go listen and learn about it if you can. You need to have peace, inner peace. You need to feel like you're not by yourself and you're not alone. And you have to have faith. If you don't have faith, and that was how I just was like prayed, and I said, Jesus, if it's my time to go, and you want me, then I won't wake up. But if it's not my time to go, then I know you have more you want me to do. And that was my look on it. I wasn't afraid. I didn't have fear because I trusted the surgeon I had because he had a good reputation, and he did my brother's triple bypass surgery, and he came through great. And I was 5,116, he was 5,106, so we were 10 surgeries apart. And like Nelson and his team were phenomenal, and I definitely have faith in them. I would do it again because of the faith I have in them if I knew they were doing it. But the only thing I had problems with my arteries when they did those. That was painful, and that would make me not want to have open heart surgery again.
Well, I have the best family in the world. I have the best sister in the world, and I'm
So do I.
so glad you're sitting here. And
Me too.
And I just feel blessed. So thank you for sharing this with us. And I'm going to, when I go back to my doctor for my yearly physical, I'm having her check all 3 areas of my heart.
Yes.
Listen to your heart.
She
does that.
And everybody else go get it done too.
Do that too. So, well, may God bless you, and thank you for joining in. And until next video.
Just to know I've been redeemed makes me feel good.